Hey everybody, welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Michael Noland. We've got news from the Paul McCartney camp, a little bit of good news and some bad news, unfortunately. What's the good news? Well, the good news is Paul McCartney is coming to the States, actually right here on the West Coast. He's going to be doing what I have been suggesting the man to do for the last 4 years on this channel. What is that? Well, that's for him to play more intimate settings, especially with his vocals being in disrepair. Playing the major stadiums, often you don't get the best sound to begin with, and I've been suggesting that he needs to play more intimate venues, such as theaters, even clubs. Well, as of a few days ago, Paul McCartney announced that he's going to be doing exactly that. Not necessarily the clubs, although he's done that in the past. He's going to be playing in LA at the Fonda Theater. All right, so good news on that front. What's the bad news? Well, being a longtime Paul McCartney fan, having paid to see him on 3 separate occasions, I was a little curious and I looked up at what the amount for the tickets were going to be to see him at the Fonda Theater. Now, the Fonda Theater has its general admission tickets on the floor. It also has a balcony section, a seated balcony section, and for this show, evidently, a standing room only balcony section. Now, I didn't look at the prices for the seated balcony section, but I did look up the prices for the standing room in the balcony as well as general floor admissions. Now, in the balcony section, don't forget, you will be standing the whole time. The tickets will cost you anywhere from $7,000 to $9,000. Now, think about that, folks. If you were to buy 2 tickets to take somebody special with you, you're talking about $14,000 to $18,000 to see Paul McCartney in a better setting. So what does that mean for the better seats down on the floor? You're talking about tickets that will cost you anywhere from $8,500 each all the way to almost $11,000. We are talking $17,000 to $22,000 for 2 people to have a night out on the town with Paul McCartney. Now, I've said it before, folks. You know, Paul's been doing his Got Back tour for almost as long as the Eagles have been doing their farewell tour. And I've suggested that he do exactly this, but I've also suggested that he lower prices and give us, instead of a Got Back tour, how about a damned Give Back tour, Paul? You are a billionaire now, and you've become a billionaire on the backs of your fans over the decades. And I think, in my humble opinion, it's time to give back to your fans, to your original fans. And somebody needs to make sure nobody is scalping up these tickets, because what you're getting at this show is Paul McCartney playing to a whole theater full of oligarchs, evidently. I can't imagine the average American being able to afford anywhere from $14,000 to $22,000 to experience an evening with an ex-Beatle. Now, if there's one musician, one rock icon on this planet that should be able to claim top dollar, it is Paul McCartney. The man is a traveling jukebox show. He has so many hits and so many well-known album cuts that many people would swear to God are top 10 hits themselves. But I'm talking about responsibility here. We as fans have bared up and paid this man top dollar over the decades, and we have helped make him a billionaire. How about a thank you, Paul? Now, why am I so against Paul McCartney charging his fans top dollar? Well, that's because every single time he does this, it's not long before Bruce Springsteen is charging even more for his shows, and when he's pressed for an answer regarding high ticket prices, he says you gotta charge what your contemporaries are charging. To which I reply, Bruce, you're no contemporary of Paul McCartney. You're a fantastic songwriter. You are a major rock and roll force, but you ain't no Beatle, son. So my question to you guys is, are you excited that Paul's back in the States, first of all, and second of all, how many of you can afford and are planning to go see him at the LA Fonda Theater? Because I can tell you, I'm not very fonda of the Fonda Theater at this point. All right, folks, I even covered this on last night's stream. I go over it. I give you some screenshots. I'll try to supply those with this video, but I want to hear from you. When is enough too much? When does this kind of pricing for anybody, irregardless who they are, even a freaking Beatle, when is this kind of money too much to pay? I would imagine that even if I was worth a couple of $1 million at this point, I would not be willing to put that kind of cash on the line. I like to get my money's worth, and Paul, always as a Beatle, delivered that right along with John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, and their entire team, their management, everybody who worked for them gave us bang for the buck. Now it seems like we're getting banged by the buck. All right, folks, that's the video for tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. That helps the video to gain more views. That's always nice. And if you haven't subscribed to this thing we call the Tribe, that's as easy as sliced apple pie. All you have to do is hit that subscribe to the Tribe button, tap that top bell icon, and that's kind of essential, and you'll be notified of all my videos, my streams, and everything. All right, I'm Michael Noland. This is The Bottom Line. But remember, folks, together, you and I, we constitute the Tribe.